Parliament from the Congress party from Thiruvananthapuram, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, has sought greater clarity over the India-US trade deal, which was reached yesterday. He has said that we have Trump's tweet. It has significant implications for farmers and that the government should take Parliament into confidence. He is also worried about the lack of clarity in the entire matter. Let's listen into what he said.
Strongly that there is a need for clarity because all we have is President Trump's tweet and some press statements. We have not seen any of the details of the tweet. President Trump talks about India purchasing $500 billion. Well, our entire import bill every year is about $700 billion. How can we spend $500 billion on the US? The question is, where does all this come from? What is it going to be spent on? He mentioned that we will purchase American agricultural goods. Apparently, the American Secretary of Agriculture is saying that India's open market is going to be open to American farmers. We need to understand the terms of all of this because obviously there are very significant political implications for India's farmers if this is going to happen. There are questions in our mind. I hope that the government will not do anything against the interests of our people, but we need to find out. And the most important thing for the government to do is to take Parliament into confidence and say, look, this is what we have agreed to. These are the provisions. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. Right now, we are worried because there is no clarity. Obviously, a trade deal is good for India. We need the vast American market. 18% is better than 50%. We all know that. But we need to understand all the details before we can celebrate. At the moment, we have a situation where the Congress is asking questions, the BJP is not providing any answers. So let's get the answers. That's the main issue.
Are you hopeful, expecting it?
Well, let me go across to my colleague Mohit Bhatt for more on this. Mohit, the opposition, of course, raising questions over the lack of clarity on the deal that was reached yesterday. There was a Trump tweet and, of course, comments by Sergio Gore and, of course, our Prime Minister, among a whole host of other ministers, subsequently did put out messages in favor of what was agreed upon. But the fine print is still awaited. And that, I believe, is a fair question being asked by the opposition. Is the Union Minister for Commerce and Industry expected to make a statement about this in Parliament so that there's greater clarity over the fine print of what was agreed upon, apart from the 18% slash in tariffs?
Well, Siddharth, you see, the opposition party leaders, they're basically coming out and saying that there are certain questions that they want the answers from the government. First of all, they say that why exactly Donald Trump had to inform that a deal has been signed, while it was not the Prime Minister Narendra Modi first who posted or spoke about the deal being signed with the United States. Also, there is a lack of clarity when it comes to Donald Trump saying that India will buy Venezuela oil from Venezuela, not from Russia. So is that the official stand of the government? That is what the Congress party is asking. Also, there are various issues about the tariff going down, about the agricultural sector, that how exactly our agriculture sector would be impacted by this particular deal. And that is where the Congress party and the other opposition parties say they want a detailed statement from the government. They want the government should come out and speak about the nitty-gritties of this particular deal, and so that the clarity comes out. But that we have not seen yet. The government says that yes, suo moto statement can happen. Piyush Goyal is coming in the afternoon to Delhi. Suppose that he might come to the Parliament and we can expect something. But till then, we have seen massive ruckus in both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha has been adjourned till 2 p.m. Rajya Sabha is still going on. But yes, the opposition parties clearly say that unless and until they have the clarity about the deal, unless and until a statement is put on record on the floor of the House by the government, they will continue with their protest because as of now, from the outset of the deal, it seems that this is against our agriculture sector and our farmers, and the government should clarify on this. Back to you.
All right, we'll wait and see as to how the government goes about doing that. What is very much clear is that the tariffs being imposed by the Americans on India or exports from India has come down from 50% to 18%. So that is welcome news indeed. But what else does this deal entail? That's the question that the opposition has been asking. Now, after Trump announced the Indo-US deal last night, the Congress party has dismissed the historic trade deal, calling it insignificant. Now, according to the Congress President, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, Trump's trade deal announcement is simply another instance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi capitulating on the international stage, insisting that this cannot be the father of all deals. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh further remarked that the American president clearly seems to have some leverage over the Prime Minister. Let's listen to what the Congress has had to say.
The system seems to be that President Trump announces whether it is the ceasefire, whether it's a trade deal. So is that the pattern which we should expect always, that we are succumbing or to the whatever US says, that we are surrendering to them. President Trump says that India will buy oil from Venezuela and America, not from Russia. So all these announcements are being made by President Trump. So we feel that Parliament is in session. The government should take Parliament into confidence, people of the country into confidence.
So firstly, I don't know what the government is hailing right now, because we don't know what they're hailing. We only know from Trump that there is some trade agreement that they have spoken about. And if I go by what Trump is saying, because there's no details forthcoming from India except for Prime Minister Modi thanking on behalf of 1.4 billion people. I was the first one to welcome the US-India trade deal. India-EU FTA. India-EU FTA, which came at the back of 2 decades of regular conversations. But what has come now, I do not find that a fair agreement as far as India is concerned.
Going by the social media post which President Trump has put out, it has very portentous implications for India's national security. In my recently released book, A World Adrift, I had very categorically said that India should not have changed its energy profile in the March of 2022. That is, start buying discounted Russian oil. The government's defense at that point in time was that if we are getting cheaper oil from any source, we will go ahead and buy it because it augments our energy security.
We have always maintained that both India and America need each other. We are both large economies with large populations. America cannot replace the supply chains from India very easily. So the initial high tariffs were all knee-jerk reactions by a very mercurial President Trump. He's known for acting on impulse. And I think now they've come to some sort of a sober understanding and have lowered tariffs. But the devil is in the detail.
जो फेलियर था, जिसके खामियाजा देश के व्यापारियों को भुगतना पड़ा, who will own up the responsibility for that? आपकी जो नीतियां की वजह से देश का सम्मान के साथ समझौता करना पड़ रहा है, अर्थव्यवस्था के साथ समझौता करना पड़ रहा है, व्यापारियों के साथ समझौता करना पड़ रहा है। आज दुनिया के सारे देशों से आपके संबंध खराब हो रखे हैं, हर जगह आपको गिड़गिड़ाना पड़ता है। इसकी जिम्मेदारी कौन लेगा? हर चीज को आप सेलिब्रेट करेंगे?
आज पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टी मीटिंग में प्रधानमंत्री को फेलिसिटेट किया गया इसको लेके।
ये तो इनका अपना प्रधानमंत्री जी के तारीफ के पुतले बांधना, उनका महिमा मंडन करना, विश्व गुरु बनाना। अभी तो आज प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है कि अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ ट्रम्प, तो मान लीजिए कि विश्व गुरु कौन है?
देखिए, ये जो वेपनाइजेशन है, ये वेपनाइजेशन है, यूएस अपने इंटरेस्ट देख रहा है और अपने इंटरेस्ट बाकियों पर थोप रहा है। जो रूल बेस्ड वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर है उसकी ये खुल्लम खुला डोनाल्ड ट्रंप धज्जियां उड़ा रहे हैं। बिल्कुल हमें जैसे इंडिया की फॉरेन पॉलिसी रही है नॉन अलाइनमेंट, उसको रिटरेट करके इंडिया शुड बी एट द फोर फ्रंट टू एडवोकेट फॉर रूल बेस्ड वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर, ना कि बुली बेस्ड वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर।
So those are the reactions coming from the opposition on what was announced last night. We'll wait for the fine print also to emerge. For the time being, we'll take a short break. We'll come back with more on the other side.